Welcome to the richness of our lives. I'm Mary Scott, and this is where we celebrate the wisdom, courage, and stories that shape us. Every 2 weeks, I sit down with entrepreneurs, coaches, and remarkable people who've walked through fire and come out transformed. This isn't just about success. It's about the richness of the human experience. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's dive deep. Hello and welcome to the Richness of Our Lives podcast. I'm your host, Mary Scott. And today my guest comes from Killara, New South Wales. I'm very thrilled to have him. He's an outstanding banker. He has a history that goes on and on and on, and well regarded in the industry. I'm already embarrassing him, I can see that. And currently he is a full-time carer as well as has his own mortgage broking business, but he's a carer of his wife of 38 years who is they're all living with dementia. Please welcome Daniel Kwan. Daniel, hello to you. Lovely to have you.
Good morning, Mary. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm honored and blessed to be doing this podcast.
Oh, I think we're all blessed to have you, Daniel. Now, you were born in Malaysia and at the tender age of 12 came to boarding school in Australia. My goodness, what was that like? Thrown out of the house? Not really. Sent to Australia to get a good education, which says a lot about your parents' values and now your values. What was that like as a 12-year-old?
Well, it is a real eye-opener. You go to Lismore and it rains and flood and it's cold. I never had wheat pix for my life for breakfast. And the first 3 months, whatever they were saying on the PA system, I couldn't catch the English. It was too fast. So it took me 3 months to catch up what they were saying. But it was a journey. It was a very good journey. And, it was tough. But it made me man of steel. I mean, it was good training. And the boarding school had very tough discipline. And if you get out of line, 6 of the best.
Oh, those were the days. What did they call it? The cuts or something, didn't they?
The cane, 6 of the best.
Oh, yes. 6 of the best. I remember them, yes. My goodness. And were you a high achiever right from the get-go? Did you have a high kind of discipline about being successful?
Well, you see, my dad said, the rest is up to you. You're going to Australia to study. You don't have to worry about your Chinese language and Malay. Just study English. And I wasn't a bright student. I was in the B class. However, I had the fear of God in me. So I studied very hard. and I've never won a prize in primary school in Malaysia. And I couldn't believe it. Of all things, I came first in religion. Of course, I'm Chinese. I'll come first in maths and science. And then on top of that, I came first in B class. And they promoted me to the A class in year 8, Form 8. So I was very pleased. And I remember receiving the prize, walking on the stage. Oh my goodness, I wish my parents was here. I no longer got 50 out of 100. I think I got 90 out of 100 for a change.
And probably, do you think they would have passed out by then if they were there live?
That they would not have believed it, because all I did was I went swimming in Sabah because it was so hot, and I nearly got in the swimming team in Form 1. So for a Chinese Asian to be in the swimming team, most Asians are not very sporty.
It's just lovely, isn't it? So there you are, and boarding school was Lismore. Goodness gracious. I've only been to Lismore once, but I would think it would have been an amazing cultural shock, not only for school, but for language, culture, everything vastly different. And so how long were you at boarding school and how did you survive it, Daniel?
Literally, I was 6 years in boarding school. The good thing was there was 10% Asian student at the boarding school at the time. There was 360 students, 36 like there's A class and B class, so well spread. and my cousin was there, my elder brother was there, so it wasn't that hard, And you'll be surprised, the student from Sabah, they out of the 6 years, 3 of the years they got ducks at the
Oh,
school.
wow. Really?
First in maths, English, and science. So matter of fact, the Asian student lifted the standard of the Aussie student, and they see us all studying, so they put their head down. So the school's standard lifted above the state average. So it was a good win-win.
Well,
Uh,
did I want to ask you this because you mentioned it and it tickled my fancy. You know, you studied hard because you had the fear of God. Is that a common thing with Asian students when they come from their homeland, they're put into boarding school? Is there more of an expectation, do you think, on you guys to perform?
I think number one, it costs money to send us to overseas to study, and there is an expectation to perform. I would say 80% of the student did very well. I can remember a classmate, he ended up to be an optometrist, So, and there is expectation in that space. I would say 80% of them have done extremely well. And look, coming from Malaysia, if you understand the politics, and so, you know, is the Bumi Putra policy, which says they favor the native of Malaysia. 90% of the higher education goes to them. So, so my parents got no choice. Okay, your cousin is there, and your brother's there, and your sister's in the girls' school called St. Mary's. Now off you go. Good luck.
Goodness gracious. And what if there was any likes or profound things about that time? Is there anything that stands out of that 6 years?
Well, I would say, loneliness and the toughness of it, right? And but however, you make hay when it's shine. So I was blessed. Maybe I was one of the most obedient student, didn't rock the boat, I didn't do anything crazy. And the first term, a guy in the A class walked up to me, hey, you want to come to my house in Lismore for 4 weeks during school holiday? And I didn't know him well at all, and that was so kind of him, and I
Oh,
want to find him and thank him. And I remember his name, and I will track him down. Yeah, and because we got classmates from Sydney to Lismore to Gold Coast, and they just had a 50-year reunion, but I could make it. So we had a very close class in that year, the 1970 year.
and what would have happened to you if that guy had not invited you home? What would you have done for 4 weeks?
I would have probably gone to Sydney because our dad bought us a unit in Randwick, and I would be with my brother and sisters. Sometimes we would book a accommodation in Balna and then end up swimming there for 4 weeks, with other classmates. Another time I've got Gary from Kempsey. He invited me to his house in Kempsey several times. There's friends, Peter at Coffs Harbour.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was swimming in Coffs Harbour. We went in the ocean and said, "Oh my God!" In the surf, I didn't know we got caught in the reef, but all of us were very strong swimmers. And the next thing I know, we were 150 yards from a place of origin. I didn't know the danger. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's right. And that's the thing. Um, if you had been in Australia all your life, and that's the challenge, isn't it? And it's the
Mm.
same with us going overseas. There's things we don't know about, but here
Oh,
you were.
yeah.
And then, so what then propelled you? What choice did you take then? Where did you go for further?
Okay, so it's very simple. So I look at the subjects I did, right? So okay, typical. Oh, you either be a doctor, engineer, dentist, etc., or accountant. And then I look at, geez, my science is not getting there. Oh, I think I'll be an accountant. So I can remember in form 10 or whatever they call it. Is it year 10? Year 10. I said to the teacher, oh, I'm going to be an accountant. Oh yeah, you're good in maths. Yeah, you're good in the other. Yeah, you'll be a good typical accountant. So that's what I did. As a matter of fact, my marks at HSC was not that great, but I said, oh my goodness, I only got 65. I didn't get 99 like most other Asian students. Right? And I got into Macquarie Uni. But what I did when I went to Macquarie, I treated it as work. I studied from 9 to 9, Monday to Thursday, had Friday off.
9
And then,
a.m. to 9 p.m.
yeah, I studied. I literally, okay, went to lecture, tutorial. And in boarding school, we had the discipline. We had to study from 6:30 to 9:30, I think. And then from 9:30, you can do another hour. You go to bed at 10:30. So what I did was, well, I just did what I did in boarding school. Just study hard. Just get it in your head. So I treat university like going to work. I get up there, I get to uni at 9, whatever. And then if I do come home at 5 or 6, I will spend 3 or 4 hours studying. So it's pure hard work. And any subject related to mathematics and economics, I got a B. So
That's interesting, isn't it? Because you're still relatively young. And what does it take to have that level of discipline, do you think? I mean, that's 9 till 9, essentially. Did you
uh,
have a clear goal in mind? What was the driving force? Let's park fear, Daniel. You'd
no,
have.
no, I think I was very clear. My dad said the rest is up to you, and your uncle won't let you work in the family business. And I know if I was to find a better half, I need to look after them. So I need to have a good job and good income. So, just looking at it, it's very, very interesting. You might not be the best in class, but you built this friendship. And I tell you what, this friendship in university had, and then we will go to that later on, has opened those doors for me. So this is a very interesting state of play. There's no doubt all those A students will get into the big four. I no ain't big four is going to talk to me. I know with my result, and I say, who's going to hire me? They all credit and the 9 subject that I failed and I've got a B after I repeated. Nobody's going to hire me, but I'll tell you later on what happened. Yeah.
So that discipline by then was a habit. Is that a fair comment?
I think that discipline is always in my mind. I always said, well, if I want to get married, I want to make sure I can look after my wife, and I need a decent job. So I think that is yeah, I think financial stability is the crux. And I think I just try my hardest, and then that's what I always done in high school. I couldn't believe it in Form 6. They gave me the Tenacity Award.
Well, I'm not surprised, that's what you achieved. I can feel it. I see what you're doing in LinkedIn. So what happened? You got your degree and then you took flight to where?
Now, I got my degree. I was working in a Chinese restaurant in eastern suburb, whatever, pick up a bit of pocket money. And then at that time, the immigration law was changing. And then my friend we were doing accounting, my Indonesian classmate. Oh, Daniel, you're not wearing your graduation hat until April. You've just come back from Hong Kong for a holiday. Hey, I'm at IBM. We need a temporary clerk for 2 months. Come and join me in Can Street. Now, back in 1981, to get into IBM, you need to go through 6 job interviews, and they only get the best of the best. I
Yes.
just I just walk in because of friendship, right? And we share our study in the university. Oh, you couldn't do this homework assignment. Here, look at my homework. No worries. So we and then he appreciated it. So really, it's the friendship. Like, how did you do in uni? Some student will not share the homework. We typical Malaysian student, no worry, let's share, let's share. And after you do your homework, let's go out and play tennis or etc. So that the moment I walked into IBM, it was just a clerk job. It wasn't nothing. And then I asked my supervisor, and then I get into second interview, click of a finger. But I also had a relative and then I was struggling in the interview. I said, oh, what? I got better in those interviews. And then I was just walking into second in the corporate top 200, not as a graduate trainee, but because in administration, you go into the spot that you're the hottest.
That's
And
right.
then next thing you know, I ended up in Hewlett Packard in Talavera Road in North Ryde, and they got a brand new office. They were into computers and medical equipment. I was the shipping coordinator. Being bubbly me, I end up opening the social club.
Well, of course. But before we go on and leave that, I think you're making a very good point here because we're talking about circle of influence. You're calling it friendship. I'm going to call it circle of influence and connections. Just that we can never underestimate the power of them. And then you add another layer called collaboration, which it sounds like you mastered way before most of us do in our lives. In the boarding school, if we all work together, we can be high achievers together. What do you say about all that?
This is a very interesting. This is actually reflects me, and obviously my uncles also. Somebody has told me it's not what you know, it's who you know, and also working from a kind heart, right? So I think this is the strategy I play. I always challenge myself. I want to target a top accountant, and he would say, Daniel, I get offered every week to be a partner of a broking firm. You do not need to offer me 10%. You're my number one broker. And it's like winning, like me in high school, table tennis champion, discus champion. And like in business, it's like winning a championship when you eliminate round one, round two, round three, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. So if you treat like a mortgage application as that, because people have choices, and I thrill on winning. I just love it. And yesterday I saw a real estate agent. I not only gave him that mortgage, I call the mortgage a commodity. I said, I look at his whole financial situation and I said, well, there's a few things you're not doing right on tax planning. And do you want something tax-free in super when you retire? So the way that I play is different. And it really excites me because I even mentor a senior manager in the bank. And he said, Daniel, you're unique. Nobody plays like you. And I tell you, I said today, I'm going back on the market and I would turn it upside down because my training has always been that. Because when I came back to Australia, the company I worked for was Australian Bank before Macquarie Bank. They
Was
had
that
all the
Hong Kong? Was that in Hong Kong?
no in Australia.
Where were you when you said you came back? Where did you come back from?
So what happened was at Hewlett Packard, I tried to apply for Australian permanent residency. The law changed and the economy was not doing very good. And before that, they accepted graduates, whatever. So I have to go back to Hong Kong. And the funny part about Hong Kong, the job I got was again not my academic ability, but because I was working for Hewlett Packard, they won the import-export letter of credit for Hewlett Packard. And the guy said, oh, don't worry, you can have the job. You look after my number one account. Or you can speak Cantonese. I think your English is good. Don't worry that you can't write Chinese. You'll be fine. So literally, I was there for 3 years. And as a graduate trainee, went to every department and then went back to the credit and marketing department. But the most important thing I did was my cousin was in investment bank. So he said, Daniel, you got nothing to do at 5 o'clock after work. Come to Central Hong Kong. We'll do some investment banking deal. $100 million 5-star hotel, etc.
Wow. And that was, you were still just a graduate, like there was a huge opportunity and you were at the right place, right time.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny part was we used the Taiwanese copy Apple IIe as the computer, and I used VCCAL. I call it the grandfather of spreadsheet. I literally used all the capacity, and I did five-star hotel, and I did a 5,000 unit development. And to me, I didn't get paid. I only was given porridge with beef and an egg at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh my goodness.
And I tell you, hey, you ever want excitement in your life? You do $100 million deal in 1983. That's like doing a $2 billion deal right now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It was fun. I love those things. And you're around, my cousin in the investment bank. You're talking to the architecture. You got the lawyers there. I never saw the client. I didn't have to, but it was exciting, especially that 5,000 unit development above a railway podium. I was running the cash flow.
My goodness. And so then you came back to Australia from Hong Kong. Where was your residency at that stage?
Yeah, my sister sponsored me back after 2 years, and by the third year, like we got to leave Australia for 2 years, the immigration law. So I came back. We have a unit in Randwick. I left in I live in Randwick, and then 2 weeks. Okay, I'm back 2 weeks now. I better go and get a job. Right? And I remember the headhunter, something an associate. Anyway, my first year uni, I went for a job interview for QBE Insurance, and they want a clerk. Anyway, I didn't get the job because I told the financial controller in 10 years' time I have my own business. But the question he asked me, a mathematical question, look at this spreadsheet. What's the return? I said, bang, 10%. Instantly. He said, wow, I've interviewed so many people. You're the fastest. But anyway,
But you didn't get the job, is that what you said?
No. I went to the headhunter in banking and finance, and there was a job as a credit analyst. So they sent me to Australian Bank, right? Mark Johnson and the cream of the banks were there, right? Cash flow lending, and the first bank that got the banking license after World War II. So I told the boss, Vicky, I said, I went to this little a small bank in trade finance, subsidiary of Daiichi, biggest Japanese bank, not very corporate-y. I moonlight with my cousin on this big deal. And they thought I was a top banker, and then they hired me. That was. I think they got blown away. When you do $100 million deal, you're doing 5,000. You're the cash flow king. And matter of fact, they let me run the cash flow for some other cash flow lending transaction. And then after VC count, we were Lotus IBM PC with Lotus 123.
How old would you have been, Daniel?
Pardon?
How old would you have been then?
84. I'm born in 58. I went to PIBA at
20 something?
26. 26.
26.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing when you set yourself up for opportunity. And one thing you said before, I want to bring back in because this is how I find you. You have a big heart and you said kindness. And, that to me is a very strong value that I get from you. And it's still playing out in your life now, isn't it? Kindness.
Well, absolutely. My business model, and I'm like, I even said to everybody, I said today, I've been out of action for work more than 1.5 years. And I said, I'm very confident because how I play it, I do 100 good things, expect nothing in return. And let me tell.
Why 100?
Why? Just a number. It could be 1 million.
Yeah, that's right. I just thought there might have been a strategy behind it. You being a numbers guy. Okay, you do 100 good things. Yes, go on.
And expect nothing in return. I tell you what, all the good things I do, it could be mowing lawn. Mowing lawn is like exercise to me. I don't need to go on the tennis court. So I go and mow my neighbor's lawn. So I do a lot of beautiful things, and the return has been phenomenal.
So gratitude's right up there, isn't it? Kind.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so let's digress a little bit. With your wife's health, you've had beautiful time together. I think you've got a son, and you've got two sons, I beg your pardon. And your wife became ill. Tell us about that and how's that impacted your life?
Okay, she was diagnosed with dementia 10 years ago, but the meltdown didn't happen until January last year.
So 2024.
The 2024. Now, with a meltdown with dementia, you become violent, abusive, and karate kicking me. And then, and I have to play hide and seek. She was in the family room. I was in the carport. The moment she sees me, she erupts like a volcano. So I ended up putting her into hospital, and then she was there for 3 weeks, on to be hospital. And then she was 8 days in Esther care in St. Ives. But every day when I saw her, she'll have the suitcase ready at the front door. I want to go home, and I couldn't cope, so I brought her home. She's a good mother. We had twin boys. The boys were, I think, confidential. I can share with everybody. They were IVF. It's like winning the lottery. Yeah. So I said, no, I will look after her. And she's been, as a matter of fact, I went to the Melbourne Cup event yesterday, and the lady also had twins. I said, "Wow, Daniel, she's looking very good. You're doing a great job." And I use my business philosophy managing her, and I look at a lot of biography of people, including Bruce Lee, like water. And I practice the philosophy of 1 year in, 1 year out. She doesn't mean what she's saying. Matter of fact, at 1 o'clock, I have a Zoom with Dementia Australia on peer leader. So yeah, I think confidential, I can say my son, my elder twin, is not coping because she's yelling and screaming. But I stay very strong. I think the strongest come from my 6 years in boarding school too. It was like you have to be strong in boarding school.
And how different was that behavior to the woman that you've loved and cherished all these years and mother to your twins?
Yeah.
I just want to show the listeners the contrast and how utterly shocking that must have been for you and your family.
I have very good support from my twin boys. Now, matter of fact, they're very good. They go into Zoom and they say, "Oh, mum, how would I say?" She used to ask, "What's today's date?" 50 times, and one of my sons said, "Well, just assume as if she asked you the first time. Today is Wednesday," and with a big smile. So very important. I think my elder twin, he knows probably more than me. I didn't have to tell him to go to look at whatever in the space to pick up the knowledge, and he has. So I went up to the knowledge, to Trailblazer, American cycle, whatever, very good. And that's where I learned how to deal with dementia. And I found stage 1 to stage 7, how to deal with screaming, how to deal with accept a lot of things. And you sometimes you can't get access to people that super experienced in that space, and that has helped me greatly.
How do you manage your heart? This is the woman you love. There's one thing to logically learn to manage it, but how do you manage your heart, Daniel?
I just say, she's a good mum and she's a good person, and I just reflect back the years when we were doing the IVF treatment, driving to Royal North Shore, got booked by the police on the wrong lane, and then she had the needle to do the blood test every day, and then you try and it didn't work, and the last 3 frozen eggs, jackpot, So you got to reflect on all these 38 years, the good things that she has done, 4 meals on the table, meat, seafood, soup, and vegetable, Obviously, we had domestic helper for 20 years, but I just say, well, I can't walk away. My accountant say, if you put her into aged care, it's like abandoning her. So no, not going to do it.
Yes, and that short stay in hospital, that I imagine that was excruciating for you, was it?
Well, it was good learning for me because we're in a lockdown ward in Hornsby Hospital. The person next door was extremely noisy and violent. There was 12 other dementia patients, and you learn, and how would I say? No, it wasn't that bad for me because obviously when you lose your memory, the only way they treat you is drug you, right? Until you are, so they put drugs to control your temper, They give you sleeping pill. You sleep like a lock at night. So my opinion is because they will at the aged care they will drug you until you become a good Vegemite. But I said no, I'm not going to do that. And yeah, I'm going to keep her until she can't remember me. Then I'll send her to aged care. I don't know how long that is, but I've got what I call mousetrap to keep me mentally strong. I'm doing a lot of things, and you probably say you're crazy or you're reopening your broken business. But I'm hiring somebody. Um, a j- I'm tr- I'm trying to get this two-person to give them a career in it. But I said my head office in Kilara, I can't go out. You guys can go out and see my top client and my top referral. That's how I'm going to play it. Yeah.
So that's interesting point. And how often can you actually leave your wife? Is that something that, like, you went out yesterday to the Melbourne Cup event, but is that an
Uh,
easy thing?
I brought her with me, and surprisingly, I learned something new. She had a good time too, because she connected to a mum of twins, and besides winning the trifecta, so I said, oh, good, I could take her to some Christmas party for maybe 1 hour, as long as it's not too noisy. And then, technically, I had a 5 hour break. I went to a festival carnival in Randwick about 2 weeks ago. My son was looking after her. That was the first time I had a real break in about 1 year, 9 months. And the last 2 hours, she was waiting for me at the front gate of the house for me to come back for 2 hours. And my son couldn't even get her to come in. So she is, I would say, me, I'm the one and only.
Yes.
Carer can't, if a carer comes, she'll say, you came to the wrong house, front door is that way.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
you're it. You're
yeah,
you're
I'm it.
the
I'm it.
focus, and and that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That you would be the focus. So how have you been able to kickstart? And this is remarkable in itself. And I think this is what drew me to you. You're kickstarting your mortgage business again. You're a full-time carer. How do you do this, Daniel?
Now, I found clarity about 4 months ago, exactly what I want to do. The clarity is I need to look after my wife. She comes at number one, the priority. I have a business plan in front of my computer. Her name is on number one. And then number two, I said, okay, global mortgages, which is she gave me that name, global mortgages. And I haven't made it global. Oh my God. So okay. And I've been talking to this builder, age 55. I'm waiting for him to do certificate 4. So I've got one mentee. Then I come across another young graduate. He's 24. Good. And with the builder, already found him 12 jobs to cover his cash flow while he's trying to start mortgage broking. Now, um, I'm very confident because I realize every time I talk to a client, I don't only sell them the mortgage. I look at the rest of their life. How much do you want into retirement? Is it the best tax effective way? So I guess I'd look after you for life as a mortgage broker if you allow me to. Now, not only in finance, but other things. Do I need to mentor your son? Oh, do I need to send a good builder at a good price to renovate your house? Nobody will compete with me on this level. I'm sure. So I have a unique offering. I'm so confident. Uh,
Wow. It's
yeah,
interesting, you've said a couple of things about how unique you are, and you realize when we go live with this that there's going to be a lot of people know about your uniqueness, and you may well find people say, hey, Daniel, I do all those things, but I love it that you're not just there to do the numbers. You're there for engagement, connection, kindness, and actually talking and having a relationship with your client that is meaningful. Have I put that together, succinctly?
you hit it on the nail, and that's how I play. That's how I play. I give you an example of a very tough client. I label him the godfather of builder. You know what I'm saying? So the first time I saw it, Daniel, you're not competitive. See you later. 12 months later, Daniel, the banks don't like me anymore. Fix me up. So, to win a big player in the community, in the building game, I guess I had good corporate training. I must thank my bosses in Australian Bank, Ian, Richard, and Les, right? They look after me, and I didn't got selected into corporate. So, don't worry, Daniel, come to business banking. We'll look after you. They send me up to Hunter Valley, and you go to this corporate training. You know what you're doing. You can look at bond skates and brill and come back, and then we'll give you work to do. So really, they didn't turf me out because I wasn't good enough. They held my hand, and the next thing you know, in 3 years' time, I was sitting in the office. I sat in the office. I started as a credit analyst in Australian Bank, and the glass office is my boss. In 3 years' time, because of the training, I sat in the office managing more than a 200 million portfolio back in 87.
200 million.
In 87, yeah.
It's phenomenal. Can we go back to today? Because I think this is a valuable thing. You're now mentoring some people. Tell us about that. This is not a paid thing. This is the kindness, Daniel. Yes.
Now, when a BDM called me from all the other lenders, and especially the young one, so I like a bit of fun, a bit of game. Hey, it looks like you're a new boy in town. I think you need soft skill and hard skill. Your hard skill is not good enough, the technical skill. Oh, good. I will engage them, see if they play the game. I said, I'll show you the ING credit manual. I'll get you to write an essay on the 5 C's of credit. Now, if you pass the test, I'll mentor you how to do $100 million deal. I'll go all the way with you. I said to them, I'll chop my knowledge off to you today so that you become a very competent banker. I have no worries about sharing all my trade secret. And my philosophy is I want to box in the ring with Muhammad Ali or Joe Frazier. And that's how I play.
Why would you do that?
I want to be good enough to play with the best and take on the best.
But your mentorships,
why would I do that?
I think
I do that because my friend at IBM let me walk in. So I'm just giving back. One thing you didn't know, Gough Whitlam gave me a free education. I'm just giving back. And I just don't know how to thank Gough, frankly speaking. That was really nice of Gough. 4 years full-time and 1 year part-time, I didn't have to pay for my education. I just have to pay for the uni fee. That's a great savings for my dad in terms of cost. So I'm just giving back. I think in life, the more you give back, the reward is going to be, I don't know how you call it, infinity.
Oh, yes. You're actually talking also about paying it forward, aren't you? That's why I wanted to talk about these young guys that you're mentoring. You're paying it forward, you're sharing your knowledge, and how fortunate are they? But how fortunate are you? Like, it's a two-way street with this sort of thing, isn't it?
Now, I had a quote to them. I said, I want you to be Roger Federer winning 20 Grand Slam. However, I want to be known as the coach of Roger Federer.
Oh my gosh. There's a hidden agenda here. Oh my gosh. But I don't think that's absolutely true. I think it is about giving back.
Exactly.
Now, as it sits at the moment, there's a lot of unknown things with your wife's dementia. And how do you literally, because we're coming close to the end, how do you literally juggle the two lives? What do you think it is about you that apart from being unique, we know that you're unique.
I just take a day at a time, and I've got a lot of activities. And then I use all this philosophy, and all these things, and all the things I do, just stay positive. I'm a positive person. There's a saying, when they go and get tough, the tough get going. I think that was taught to me in high school. So I've got a lot to offer. I just gave my computer guy, I went to this Melbourne Cup event, and this is a small company. wants to hire IT people. My IT friend, hasn't got a job for a while. So, okay.
Thank you for joining us
Take a
on
picture
the
of a business
richness
card at
of
6:30.
our
What do you want a
lives.
job? Call
If
me.
today's
Yes, call me,
conversation
yeah.
stirred
So,
something in
because
you,
I'm giving
I'd
a
love to
lot,
hear about it.
and this
Connect
all
with
helped.
me
This helped my
on
happiness
social media.
because I'm giving back
Leave
so
a
much.
review
It
or
helped me
share
manage
this episode
this
with
side of the
someone
equation.
who needs
So
to hear it.
I'm
And
very
if you are
hunky-dory,
ready to step
speaking.
into your own
It's
bold journey,
It
sounds to join
me
our
like
vibrant
a
cheer
lot
squad.
of balance.
We meet weekly for coaching
It
and
probably
connection.
wasn't. When
Until
you,
next time, continue to embrace the richness of your life.
But
I'm Mary Scott, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
And you're managing, and your positive attitude, your kindness. If there's someone listening today, is there one message that you would say to them about living a full life? What would you say to the audience today? Ask of what not the country can do for you. Ask of what you can do for the country. Oh, Daniel, that's beautiful. I've heard that, but not quite in that same way. And you pulled that right out of your back pocket. Well, I experience you as a warm, kind, giving man. I nearly said gentleman, but I think man is more appropriate because you're a strong, kind man. And all credit to you. I want to thank you for giving up your time today. And I know that the way forward is going to be hugely successful with a lot of compassion and a lot of love. And thank you so much for today. You're a real gift.
Thank you for joining us on the richness of our lives. If today's conversation stirred something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Connect with me on social media, leave a review, or share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And if you are ready to step into your own bold journey, join our vibrant cheer squad. We meet weekly for coaching and connection. Until next time, continue to embrace the richness of your life. I'm Mary Scott, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.